Once there was a lady who had a beautiful flower plant before her hut. A red flower had bloomed on it. The lady was amazed to see a charming maiden, hardly the size of a thumb, growing out of the flower. She named this charming maiden Thumbelina. Thumbelina was a real source of joy for her mother, who was very fond of her. She would sit on a leaf and sail around singing sweet songs. In a dish filled with water, Thumbelina had a beautiful bed made of a walnut shell. While sleeping in her bed, the lovely maiden looked extremely charming. Once, an old toad chanced to see sleeping Thumbelina. He was so enchanted by her beauty that he used to peer at her through the window whenever she slept in her bed. He thought, "Croak, she would make a beautiful bride for my son." So, one night, while Thumbelina was asleep, the old toad carried her away to a pond and placed her on a lily pad. His son, the young toad, was really happy to see his beautiful bride-to-be. But the animals of the pond thought that the ugly toad was no match for pretty Thumbelina. So they nibbled the lily pad off its plant, and she went floating about in the pond. Suddenly, a kind butterfly came there. She said to Thumbelina, "Hold this vine and I'll pull you out of the pond." Thumbelina thought it would be really safe to be away from the toad and his son. So she held on to the vine. But just then, a very large flying bug lifted Thumbelina off the lily pad. He took her to his nest in the trees, standing on the bank of a river. "Look, she has only 2 arms and 2 legs, but no wings. She is not able to fly at all. How miserable indeed!" The jokes of the friends made the bug feel very small. So he decided to let Thumbelina go. Thumbelina was very happy to have gotten rid of the bug. But by now she had lost her way in the big forest. She had nowhere to take shelter. Spring was soon followed by autumn, and then it was winter. It was so very cold. The dry leaves of the forest were not cozy enough to keep her warm. She was also very hungry and felt quite lonely too. Thumbelina walked on and on till she came to a hut. She knocked. Is anyone there?" A field mouse opened the door and welcomed her in. He made her sit by a fire and served her a hearty meal, saying, "Look after my house in return for boarding and lodging." The field mouse had a neighbor named Mr. Mole. He told Thumbelina about him, saying, "He is very rich and will make an ideal husband." Mr. Mole allowed them to walk into his tunnel that he had dug under his house. One day Thumbelina went into the dark tunnel with a candle in her hand. Suddenly she saw a bird lying half dead on the ground. She went near the bird and found that it was still alive. She looked after the bird, and soon it became all right. Thumbelina was thanked for her kindness and timely help. As the bird flew away, it said to Thumbelina, "Come with me, oh pretty girl, to another land where the sun is warm and the birds sing sweet songs all the time." But Thumbelina said no. She felt obliged to the field mouse, but for days on end she kept missing the lovely bird. The field mouse was urging Thumbelina to marry his friend, Mr. Mole. Thumbelina agreed, though she did not want to marry Mr. Mole. Mr. Mole was eagerly waiting to welcome Thumbelina. On her wedding day, Thumbelina sat in the sun, filled with sorrow. She sobbed hard, and her eyes were full of tears. Suddenly, the bird whom Thumbelina had helped in the tunnel flew down and sat near her. Thumbelina told the bird that she was going to marry Mr. Mole and that she did not want to do so. The bird said, "Why, after all, I'm here to help you. You saved my life. Now it's my turn to do my bit for you. Sit on my back, quickly. I'll carry you to a far-off land, away from the field mouse and Mr. Mole." Thumbelina quickly did so. Before long, Thumbelina and the bird reached the kingdom of flowers. Thumbelina plucked a flower. Oh! Out stepped a handsome prince with wings and a crown. "Welcome to my kingdom, oh charming girl. I am the Prince of Flowers," said the youth. Thumbelina was enchanted, and she looked around in wonder. Everything was cheerful and seemed to welcome her with open arms. She gladly accepted the prince's offer. The prince gave Thumbelina a crown and wings to enable her to live happily in the magical kingdom for all time to come.